Ask the mayor of any reasonably successful medium-sized American city about his or her dreams for the city center, and you'll nearly always get the same answer. The mayor dreams of a vibrant downtown, blessed with a myriad dining and entertainment options, storefronts that attract high-end retail shopping, streets that are well-traveled and safe at all hours of the day or night, and old neighborhoods just outside the center, long, pleasant blocks filled with restored homes by new owners to their original glory, and in the center, a sprinkling of luxury condominiums and market-rate rental buildings attracting young couples lured by all the best things a thriving city can provide. This is what mayors dream of. Some have achieved it, the majority are still struggling to get there, but nearly all of them punctuate their fantasies with a warning. It must be done without producing a wave of gentrification. Gentrification signifies displacement of the poor, mostly people of color. Gentrification is a word that urban politicians do not like and try hard not to use. Here are some examples of gentrification. You can see on the left or in the top what some of these places used to be like, and down below how they are restored. Here's a clip from my favorite show, The Simpsons.
Cypress Creek, a tale of one city.
Let's what's up now?
Oh my God, they're trying to block us from going to this place.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Let's watch this.
Look at this place.
Somebody ought to build a town that works. Somebody did. It's called Cypress Creek, a planned community designed for the workers of the Globex Corporation. Cypress Creek, where dreams come true.
Your dreams may vary from those of Globex Corporation and subsidiaries and shareholders.
So I use that to talk about what is gentrification. So it's a process that can occur when wealthier people move into lower income neighborhoods, prompting shifts in culture, increases in prices, and the displacement of long-standing lower income residents. As you see by an old video clip, the homeless man gets turned into a mailbox. So there's pros for gentrification. So the first one, increasing property values. As uh, wealthier young people move into an area that was considered to be low income before, property values go up. New businesses get attracted to the area as the reputation for the area becomes one that's sort of hip and cool and young. There's new employment, either in construction in the short term or new businesses that open in the longer term. Um, and that allows for more people who live there maybe to have jobs that they wouldn't have been able to get before. There's a changing cultural landscape as the result of restoration efforts. So that downtown maybe gets restored. You have new sidewalks that are put in place, trees are planted. There's the improvement of older decaying structures that are made more modern. Neighborhoods are rehabilitated, and there should be historical preservation of some structures or neighborhoods. Additionally, you have improvement in business services. So before, businesses that might not have been going to the area now are more interested. And you get a young, diverse, it becomes more of a cool city. And then lastly, improvement in public infrastructure, so sidewalks, repaved road, community centers, parks, and upgrading of utilities. Those are all pros for gentrification. As people move to these areas, it goes from being, relatively unsafe to maybe now it gets safer. And prices rise, things get more expensive. The owners now benefit. However, it does come with some significant cons. So, first, the people who used to live there get displaced. As property values go up, the owners now can charge higher rent. And people who could afford to live there before, these lower income folks, get priced out of their neighborhood. And that really doesn't impact the people who are moving in because they typically have more money um, anyway. But the less affluent, the elderly, or other marginalized groups get sort of moved out. There was a culture to that place before, and it changes. You have contemporary buildings that might be considered, nice, but they don't have the character of some of these old buildings. And some of the old culture of the area gets changed and switched. You have increased social tension. in the neighborhood, as the people who were there before now maybe look upon these people who are moving in a negative way, as trying to change their way of life that they've had for years and years. And you may also have increased homelessness, as people who live there now are forced out. They might not have anywhere to go. And they look maybe for an even different neighborhood, and they might find themselves completely priced out. Additionally, the decrease in the number of homes available for rent impacts low income residents. We looked at those luxury apartments, those can't be rented by a lot of the people who used to live there prior. You have changing businesses as small, locally owned businesses get moved out and replaced with national franchises or companies with expensive goods and services. And some of these people that were able to maybe still stay there now find themselves unable to afford these new services that are in the area. And lastly, we have a shift from residential to commercial. So now homes become businesses, which gets rid of housing. Or we have multifamily structures go to single family structures. So whereas before you could have, a duplex with two homes, two families living in the home, now gets replaced with one. Um, or single family structures become condominiums, which are, as we talked about, priced out of the people there. So ultimately, the question that we ask and the question that you guys are going to have to respond to is gentrification positive or negative? Um, we talked about and you heard about some of the things that could be good for it, right? We have new businesses, it's nicer, it's cleaner, it's possibly safer. Um, but does it, how much do we care about the fact that some people now can't live there anymore? That they're priced out, that they have to move out of their homes, that we're losing some of the culture. And the question that I want you guys to think about is it a positive or a negative? And that's what you're going to do in your response today.